Hi, I'm Swarupa Sahil, course instructor for Geotechnical Engineering 1. In this presentation, we will learn about compaction in field and compaction specifications. In case of cohesionless soils, vibration is the best method of compaction, which is usually done using vibratory roller. The best results can be obtained when the frequency of vibration is near to the natural frequency of the soil, that is sand, which has to be compacted. For cohesive soil, compaction is done in layers. Here we can see that the soil is laid in 3 layers. After laying first layer, it is compacted using roller. On top of it, layer 2 is laid and then it is compacted, which is again repeated for even layer 3. So, soil is laid till the total thickness of the soil, that is T, is achieved. For silts of low plasticity, pneumatic rollers are used, and for soils with moderate plasticity, sheepfoot rollers are used for compaction. Methods used for soil compaction in field. In the construction of highway embankments and earth dams, soil is first dumped in the form of loose fills and then it is compacted to improve the density and strength. In field, soil is compacted by applying energy through mechanical equipment. Based on the type of soil, the energy is transmitted to the soil by applying pressure in any of these methods. Static pressure is applied using roller, impact using rammer, and vibration using vibrator. The choice of equipment will depend on the type of soil at site and cost involved in construction. The amount of compaction achieved in the field depends on the thickness of the soil layer, type of roller used, pressure intensity applied on the soil, and number of passes of the roller. The types of equipment used for compaction of various soils depending on the type of project are shown in this table. For sand, vibratory roller is used. It is used for construction of embankment for oil storage tanks. For sand, silt, clay, pneumatic rubber rollers are used and they are used for compacting base, sub-base layers of the pavement and embankments for highway and airfield. For clay, sheepfoot rollers are used, which is used for compacting core of the earth dam. For crushed rock, gravel and sand, smooth-wheeled rollers are used and they are used during compaction of layers of the pavement. For all soils, a rammer is used and it is used for compacting fill behind the retaining wall and trench fills. Before constructing embankment, borrow area is decided. It is the area from where the earth is excavated and is used in construction of embankment. Laboratory test is conducted on this borrowed soil to find out what is the maximum dry density and what is optimum moisture content. Soil is laid in layers of thickness 1.5 meter during construction of layers of the embankment and it is compacted, and the dry density of each layer should not be less than 95% of maximum dry density. optimum moisture content has to be plus 1% to minus 2% above or below OMC, which is found by the laboratory test. Soil to be avoided for construction of structure are the soils with large shrinkage ratio. Shrinkage ratio is the ratio of dry unit weight to unit weight of water. Soil should not have high SR in order to avoid volume changes of the soil. And soil with high plasticity indices, that is PI, should also be avoided as they indicate the tendency to shrink or expand with removal or addition of water. Even organic matter which can decay should be avoided as fill material. Next is placement water content. It is the water content used in field compaction. It can be either equal to, less than or higher than optimum water content. In field, natural moisture content of soil is either less than or more than OMC. When NMC of the soil is more than OMC, soil should be dried by aeration to reach up to OMC. Whereas when NMC of the soil is less than OMC, water is sprinkled to reach up to OMC. Here we can see sprinkler attached to the water tanker, and the care is being taken in order to see to it that the water content of the soil reaches to the OMC which is obtained from lab test. The method used to find out the degree of compaction obtained in the field is the relative compaction. It is the ratio of field dry density to the maximum lab density. We know that the maximum lab density is obtained by laboratory test, that is either standard or modified test. Relative compaction can be written as in situ dry density of compacted fill divided by maximum dry density from laboratory compaction test multiplied by 100. So, relative compaction is equal to gamma D field divided by gamma D max lab multiplied by 100. So, if we want to write relative compaction in terms of density, it will be rho D field divided by rho D max obtained from lab test multiplied by 100. Most earthwork specifications are written in terms of relative compaction and it is denoted by CR. It is required for the contractor to achieve at least a certain value of relative compaction. For example, if soil at site has got maximum dry density is equal to 1.9 gram per cc, and this is the value which we obtain by lab results, and project specification requires relative compaction greater than 80%, then the contractor must compact the soil till the dry density of soil inside is greater than 1.52 gram per cc. Now the question is, how do we obtain this value 1.52? By definition, we know that relative compaction is ratio of dry density of soil in field to maximum dry density which we obtain from lab test. Here relative compaction is given as 80%, so 0.8 is equal to rho D field divided by rho D max lab is 1.9. So we get rho d field is equal to 0.8 into 1.9, which is equal to 1.52. So on site, the soil has to be compacted till its density is greater than 1.52 gram per cc. The minimum acceptable value of relative compaction mentioned in a project specification depends on cost and quality of the project work. Because of the differences between lab and field compaction methods, the maximum dry density in the field may reach 90 to 95%. Here we can see a compaction curve which is drawn for the results obtained by lab test. This point indicates maximum dry unit weight, and in field we can achieve maximum dry unit weight up to 95% of this value. 95% is relative compaction, and gamma D max is the value of maximum dry unit weight which we get from lab test. So gamma D field can be written as 95%, that is relative compaction, 95% of gamma D max. So this is gamma D max, which is the result obtained by lab test. Relative compaction of 95% of laboratory standard Proctor test can be achieved using either sheaf foot roller or pneumatic roller, and this is for cohesive soil. Whereas for cohesionless soils, relative compaction of 98 to 100% or even more of modified Proctor test can be achieved using vibratory roller or pneumatic tired roller. This table indicates the value of relative compaction for different types of project. For earth dams, relative compaction is 100%. For aggregate base materials below roadways, 95%. Upper 150 mm of subgrade below roadways, 95%. And for fills to support buildings or roadways, it is 90%. The typical compaction requirements specified by the IRC are: for highly expansive clay, relative compaction is 85%. For top 500 mm of embankment below subgrade level and shoulders, it is 100%. And for other portions of embankment, it is 95%. Next is compaction specifications. It is divided into two types. First one is method specification and second is end result specification. The detailed instructions are given to contractor like type and weight of roller, number of passes, roller speed, lift depth and moisture content. Whereas under end result specification, the relative compaction, that is whether it has to be 90% or 95%, which has to be achieved, is mentioned to the contractor. Method specification is used for large compaction projects, whereas end result specification is used for most of the highways and building foundation. Method specification does not give flexibility to the contractor because all the instructions are given to him well in advance. Whereas end result specification gives the contractor more flexibility in finding out the best and most economical method of compaction, and he will be only given the value of relative compaction to be achieved. Thank you.